Hey everybody, this is Heidi from the blog Hands Occupied with another knitting tutorial. In this video, I want to walk you through how to work the popcorn stitch, which is super duper fun. So what we're going to do here is work our row until we're ready to actually make one of these popcorn stitches. I'm just going to aim for the middle for demonstration's sake. And what I'm going to do is a 5-stitch popcorn stitch. So what we're going to do is a whole bunch of stuff in this next loop on our left-hand needle. So what we're going to do to start is do a regular knit stitch, but instead of sweeping anything off of our left-hand needle, we're going to carefully bring our working yarn between our needles to the front of our work. So we've got the first loop that we did knitwise through the front of this loop. Next, working through the front of that loop once again, we're going to purl 1. And again, we're going to leave everything on our needles. Then bringing our yarn between our needles to the back, again, we'll knit through the front of that loop. Bringing our yarn to the front like before, we're going to purl. And then for our 5th stitch in this 1 stitch, we're going to bring the yarn to the back and knit 1. So in that single loop, we worked a knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, or 5 stitches in that 1 stitch. If you're a crocheter, working a lot of stitches in 1 stitch probably won't seem uncomfortable, but if you're a knitter, especially one near the beginning of your knitting career, this might seem a little bit awkward at first. I recommend practicing with swatches to get the hang of it before you go ahead and use this stitch in a full-on project. So that is the first row of how we make a popcorn stitch, and I'm just going to knit the rest of the row to get ready to work the wrong side of this stitch. So looking here, you can see that opening, that wide open stitch where we worked 5 stitches into that 1. Now turning to the wrong side of our work, I'm going to work until we hit that cluster of 5 stitches that will form our popcorn stitch. All right, so here we are at our 5 stitches in 1, and what we're going to do is purl through all of them at once. So in this case, this will be a purl 5 together, which is a lot. So you're going to want to carefully take your right needle and slide it parallel to your left through all 5 of those loops. And one thing that is a common mistake that people make when they work this bundle of stitches together is splitting your yarn. You're really going to want to make sure to work through the center of all those loops so that the finished stitch looks really nice. So once you've got your needle where it should be, you're going to yarn over and pull that loop through all 5 of those loops for your popcorn stitch, and then sweep those 5 loops off. And they kind of stack up vertically once swept off, so they go from being horizontal on your needle to being vertical through that purl stitch. Now I'm going to finish the row so I can show you what the other side of this looks like. And now, turning to this side, you can see that raised bump that forms our popcorn stitch. There's a lot of different ways you can work a popcorn stitch. You can work multiples of 3 loops in 1 stitch, or 4 loops, or 5 loops, or even more. More than 5 is a little uncommon and a little bit unwieldy to work with, but in a lot of cases using 3 or 5 is very common and very aesthetically pleasing as well. A popcorn stitch is a really great way to add texture to your work without having to do things like juggle a cable needle or work really intricate stitch patterns. If you have any places that you really like seeing the popcorn stitch, you should let us know in the comments. That's also a great place to reach out if you have any questions. And don't forget to tune in soon again for more knitting tutorials.